Oh my gosh. Oh. So I'm here at a animal breeding sanctuary, trying to gain the trust of some birds. I'm not really sure it's working, but today's been a pretty ass day. And before coming here, I hadn't done anything. But animals, I really like animals. And I feel like, especially when I was like in Mexico, I really enjoyed having access to a bunch of stray dogs and cats. Like my grandma has like 12 cats and like 2 dogs. And it was a lot of fun and just very stress relieving to have little animal companions. And so, yeah, I mean the dogs in Thailand, from what I've seen so far, a lot of them are pretty hostile and aggressive, or just kind of, there are a lot of like medium to big sized dogs and they just look scary. So I haven't really been able to befriend any, but this place seems pretty cool. And I mean, animals are easy to have company with. They don't judge you. They just make those weird sounds. These birds sound like they're crying or something. They're going like, I know. I know. It's okay. I know. It's okay. Things will get better. Just hang in there. I know. No need to cry, okay? Okay, you got it. You got it. We'll be okay. So, the elephant looks happy. But I know there's some dubious things in Thailand when it comes to wildlife and elephants and shit. Like sometimes they'll do like elephant riding or just treat the elephants really poorly. This one looks happy. They're playing music and it kind of looked like he was like, I don't know. I mean, this is my first time seeing an elephant since I was a kid, I think. But I thought he might have been dancing, but I can't tell anymore. Very cute. I could use a nice hose doze as well. I guess these ones are like afraid of water or something, because they have no cage. They're just on like this island. One of them even has a plastic water bottle he was using to fill back up. But they're just chilling here. It's so absurd. It's so surreal to watch them walk about. It's just so, oh my gosh, what is that thing? So strange, man. Humans, animals, we're all so strange. It's crazy. When I start filming too much is when the negative headspace hits. I start getting all these thoughts of like, like you're filming too much, like people don't want to see this, like if they wanted to see this they could see it elsewhere, blah blah blah. Part of it is a self-judgment slash fear judgment thing, but I think there's also merit to finding a balance between what I want to film and like actually living my life. but I think just coming over time, I'm definitely finding more clarity. And I mean, it's definitely a bit convoluted. There's a lot of things at play, and a lot of things to think about and questions to ask ourselves about what we want. But more important than that is knowing what we want, or most important is knowing what we want. And if we want to know what we want, we need to be in tune with ourselves. Don't burn yourselves to keep other warms. I butchered that. Don't burn yourself to keep others warm, type B. And so, yeah, I mean, this place is amazing. Those monkeys are amazing. They're so surreal to look at, how they move and interact. So cute. But on that note, I think I'll take some time to reflect and see what I want, and just relax and not worry so much. And yeah. Alrighty. So I am in a new city, somewhere like a town, which is the town of Champon, which I'd never heard of. And the way we got here was by choosing a random place on the map that headed down the coast of Thailand and that had cheap hotels. And so where we're staying at right now is, I think, like $11 a night USD. So yeah, but I've never been here. Not feeling the best, honestly. But you know, when I feel this way, I know that one of the best things I can do is just go outside and start walking and just kind of let the vibes carry me, you know? Because like I don't really know anything about this place. It has a very small population of like 34,000, which is smaller than even my hometown and my dad's hometown in Mexico, you know? And so, yeah, I don't know what's here, but let's see where my legs and my feet and the vibes lead me. I got my my iPhone's like screen time notification this morning, and it said my screen time was up like, I don't know, some crazy percentage to like 11 hours a day, which is just unacceptable. Just absolutely unacceptable. And like, I don't know, it's so, making content is so weird because it's like there's this guy, Dr. K, healthygamer.gg on YouTube, one of my favorites, all about mental health and stuff. And like he talks about like success and like concentration and like when you go to work, typically like a 9 to 5, like you're going 9 to 5 and then you're off work and then it's done. But like with concentration, it's like you're never done. Like you can always do more. You can always edit more or do some research or film another video or whatever. And so it's like it's been proving to be really tough to actually like, I don't know, I guess set those boundaries and not get so caught up with like wanting to film all the time. And so yesterday I took the whole day off and it's a tricky balance. But all I know is 11 hours of screen time, I gotta cut that down. Although some of it is probably because I'm filming. That probably counts as screen time. It's such a vicious cycle because it's like the worse you feel, the more you care about success. And the more you care about success and like putting out good content and a good video, like the worse it feels to make it and the worse you feel. So it just keeps repeating. I'm trying to break it, but alright. Honestly, pulling out the camera is one of the last things my mind wants me to do right now. But I also know that I always feel better after conquering my anxieties and conquering the doubt. And it's not easy. There's a lot of people staring at me. And I mean, in my head, I'm basically staring at myself. I can feel the self-criticism and all that shit. But yeah, I already feel a little better. I made a mistake to come out here when it's so freaking hot, as usual. So I think I'm gonna grab a bite and wait out the heat somewhere. Probably back here with these people that were staring at me. Let's see how they react. So I think I'll Do you have a menu? Like a menu with pictures?
Hi, English?
No.
English,
But does
hi.
it have pictures? Like, oh no, this is good. Okay. I'm not gonna lie. That was probably the worst I've ever felt while vlogging. I felt so embarrassed, ashamed. I felt like they were just thinking I was a dumbass. So when I went up to the cash register, it kind of felt like they were kind of ignoring me. They kind of, and like, you know, sometimes I get anxious about whether people want to be on camera or not, or whether it's okay. And at one point I thought one of them was like asking about the camera or something, and I mean, obviously, like, I don't really speak Thai, so it just felt like an absolute train wreck and a disaster, and like the most embarrassing thing I'd ever done. But I'm glad I did it, and I'm feeling better, and you know, it's good to process those feelings and realize, like, I mean, not just good, it's a superpower. It's an actual superpower to be able to, like, be embarrassed and, like, just, like, not care about what people think. And so, you know, like, my demons were strong. They were very strong. And I just felt so shitty doing it. But now I'm feeling actually quite good. And that's always the pattern. Like, I mean, if you've been watching my channel, there's many times where as I've been practicing and trying to become a better vlogger, I like just make a fool of myself and like, I don't know, it's just weird because like when you're most in your head is when it's the hardest to do it, but it's also the most necessary. And it's also just a lesson. It's not about like your internal state affects your external state. If you feel shit, if you feel ashamed, if you feel like judgmental of yourself, like it doesn't matter if someone's like super happy to see you, like you always will find a reason to like think that it means something else, or just kind of skew to the most negative interpretation you can. So basically align with your inner self, fix your inner state, be in sync with yourself. The external will all open up to you. It all depends on what's going on in here and in here. All right. I think I've found somewhere kind of more suburban, entering rural. I think I'm just gonna walk in that direction and keep going more and more to the outskirts and see what I find. All right, I've completed a new side quest that I wasn't expecting to complete, which is watching some Thai dramas with some aunties in a convenience store. I think I'm realizing, oh my god, Jesus fuck. I think I'm realizing I suck at sucking at things. And that's probably a very common thing. I think a lot of us suck at sucking at things because we suck, right? You hate to feel like you suck at something, especially when you really want to be good at it. And so I think like most of my life I've avoided doing things that I suck at, because there's a lot of things I'm really good at, and it feels really good to be really good at things. And so yeah, maybe that's why the demons are so strong. I'm trying to protect myself by feeling like a dumbass so that I don't do things that make me feel like I suck. But you can't just be good at something most of the time. You gotta start somewhere. So here we are, continuing the journey of becoming a vlogger. Cheers. a new day. I feel better than I did yesterday and the day before. But definitely still have some demon activity going on. Still feeling a bit in my head. And, you know, even just thinking it, I was thinking about like, oh, I'm gonna go vlog maybe for like an hour or two. And even just as soon as I made that decision, I started thinking like, just all over the place, like, oh, like what should I do? Like, oh, what should I say? Like, oh, what should I, blah, 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 this and that. And I was like, oh, like, should I bring my vlog stick? And I'm like, oh my gosh, like if I bring my vlog stick, like everyone's gonna look at me and stare at me. And I feel like people here, it's definitely a smaller town, don't get as many tourists. And it would definitely be weirder and more, I guess, out of the ordinary to see some guy walking around with a vlog stick. And that makes it even scarier. But I realized, like, as I was thinking all these things, I was like, wait, like, that's exactly why I should do it. I need to, like, get over that shit. And, yeah, just fight the demons head on. So, I think now that I've had these thoughts, I'm gonna make the decision to go out there and show you around a bit and try and get over my fears. And like, it's so crazy, man, because even just with content creation, and like, it's just such a mess of like fears and anxieties and overthinking, and sometimes it's hard to figure out what's like what I'm being driven to do out of anxiety and what I'm being driven to do out of like another anxiety. Like, there's social anxiety, and then there's like the anxiety of like wanting to make good content and like not wanting to fail and fear of judgment and all this shit. And so I look very red. All this shit, man. But you know what? I'm gonna get out of my head, go outside, and just be, man. Just be. That's it. That's what it's all about. Let's do it. Such a mixed concoction of shit too. I mean, my demon's already bickering at me, and it's like, stop filming everything. Stop seeking attention. Don't be so cringe. And like, you know, I think in my head it's like the fear is like, oh, like I'm gonna post something that's cringe, and everyone's gonna be in the comments and making fun of me, and it's gonna suck. And yeah, it probably would, but it doesn't matter, right? I need to channel the energy of Buddha. Alright, so I'm gonna walk around this corner, which is very busy, and you know, a lot of times I get very anxious about pulling out the selfie stick because it draws a lot of attention and it makes me look like a dumb tourist. But you know what? Maybe I am. Maybe I am a dumb tourist. What does it matter? So I'm gonna pull it out and walk down these streets. I think there's a night market type beat going on over there, or just like a farmer's market. And so let's do it. I was feeling the urge to walk really fast and avoid the presence of others, but let's do it. Let's just do it. There's a really cool, I don't know if it's a temple or what, but there's like Chinese archway of some sort back here. Chinese archway. Pretty cool. Alright, it's getting intense. I can feel it. I can feel the stares. I can feel the criticism, even just within my own mind. Which is probably the worst part. When it's an internal thing, like all the signs externally are gonna point point to that same thing. If I'm thinking like, oh, I'm so cringe, like, oh, like if I'm judging myself, then every time I look at someone and they're looking at me, I'm thinking like, oh, they're probably judging me. They probably think I'm so cringe. But it doesn't really matter, man. And I'm feeling a little better. Definitely feeling a little less overwhelmed, a little less in my head. But there's also definitely still a lot of, I mean, I'm not imagining it. There's definitely a lot of people staring at me, but I don't know what they're thinking. Some are probably amused. Some probably are judging me, and maybe some do think that I'm cringe. I don't know, do they have the concept of cringe in Thailand? I mean, I'm sure it's a universal thing, but I think I'll just hold it up and walk and do a little less talking and just show the streets, because it's some really cool streets actually. Not too shabby. I already feel a little more at ease, a little more calm, or at peace mentally. It's still lingering, it's still kind of slowly slipping away. And the craziest part is that like as I talk about like the things I'm feeling and the things I'm worrying about, the very act of talking about that stuff is like, I don't know, I'm also like criticizing and judging myself for those things. And so it's just like, it's just a cycle. It's unending, and well, I mean, that's not true. It's definitely ending at some point, but I feel like there's just a lot of work I need to put into it, and a lot of like exposure therapy to just kind of, I don't know, expunge all that and let it all out. But yeah, I'm at least not feeling as bad for holding up the stick. I'm not feeling as critical for holding up the stick. relatively stable. Definitely less thoughts. Wow. Less negative thoughts, not as strong. A little more dormant now. But definitely still there to some extent. Like, it's so multi-layered and like just like it's like an onion. Like, you have to keep peeling the layers and getting down to the true root cause of the thoughts and kind of tackle all the different emotions and I don't know. And like when I'm not worrying as much, when I'm more just like being honest and shit, like it even attacks me there, and it's like, oh, like the same things I mentioned. Like, oh, why am I recording? Like, I care so much about myself. I'm so selfish. Like, no one wants to watch this. No one wants to see this and that. But I mean, it's not about. Or like, I mean, it's kind of just about. This is my channel. This is my vlog. Like, it is about me. You know. Probably not making sense, but that's like just another layer to it. Like, I would worry about not making sense, and I worry about being silly and being judged and being cringe, all that shit. It's kind of hard, man. I'm very curious what like there's vloggers I watch and stuff on YouTube, but like I feel like a lot of people unlist their videos, like the really really early videos that are just like they're ashamed of and they feel are like so shitty and cringe and shit. And so it makes me wonder like what a lot of those top channels that I really enjoy watching, what it's like for them and what the start of their journey was like. And it's part of why, like, I mean, this vlog is probably horseshit. It's probably, unless you like just want to hear me ramble, it's probably like the worst of the worst in terms of like entertainment value. And yeah, but like, you know, I do feel some sense of like value in being super honest and showing like all my struggles and everything that goes wrong and isn't like really good content and this and that, like this. Still waiting for people to approach me and be like, oh, vlogger, like, hello, blah, blah. Or like, be like, oh, what's your channel? That would be pretty cool. But maybe I'm not very approachable. Maybe I don't look very approachable. I could definitely see that being an aspect to it. And it's probably true to a certain extent. I think when I'm like so worried about everyone else like judging me, like I'm kind of more closed off and I probably don't look as welcoming and happy and cheerful and stuff like that. One of the most interesting phenomenons so far of me vlogging is like in thinking about like success and like more like objective, like in thinking about like views and subscribers and stuff. Like some of my favorite vlogs, or like what I felt was like my best content, gets like some of the least views, and then some of the ones that I thought were gonna suck the most, and where I was like in my head and like most worried about what people were gonna think and whether people would like it and whether it was good content, like some of those are the ones that are now my top videos. And so it's just such a strange thing, and I mean, I'm curious how this video will do. Is there anyone in the world that would have watched through this whole thing and is still watching to this point? I don't know, maybe so, maybe not. And at the core, I mean, I guess what matters is that, like, I have to kind of value myself regardless of my performance and how my videos do, and you know, and yeah. I think that's a Chinese bank. I recognize it from China. I forget the name of it though, but the logo looks familiar for sure. Alright. My phone storage ran out, but it was good timing. It was a good sign. I was just about to record when it ran out too, thinking like, huh, you know what? This vlog probably does suck. This vlog probably is ass. But why does that matter? Why does it matter if it's ass? I feel like in the past there's things that I thought were complete ass and I wasn't even gonna post. And then I posted it, and it was good. So maybe the same will happen. And I mean, fuck it. Like, fuck it. I guess that's all I really have to say. Bought this chicken skewer that's really good. It actually tastes like Mexican. The grilled chicken that my parents make tastes like Mexican pollo asado. But yeah, I don't know. It's been a long day, a long week, and it is what it is. I'm gonna enjoy my chicken and I don't know, do something else for a bit. Thanks for watching, if anyone at all watched. And if no one did, that doesn't matter either, right? Take care. Can't get my screen greasy.